morning. I'm really happy to have you join us this morning for today's service. Our online community is a very important part of Unity and Marin's ministry. And know that we're available for you here, not only this morning, but you could always contact us at unityandmarin.org. But I also want to let you know that we have things going on here 7 days a week at Unity and Marin. So if you have any questions that come up, any concerns, anything you'd like to add, feel free to contact me, Bill Engelhart at unityandmarin.org. Enjoy the service.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Good morning, Unity in Marin. Happy Thanksgiving week. Can you believe it's November? I know there's many, many things that we're all very grateful for. My name is Lisa Starbird, and I'm honored to be leading you through the Sunday service today. Thank you, Bobby Finney, for sharing your gifts of singing with us, as always. And you may have noticed that we have a new piano player. Please join me in welcoming Benny Watson. Benny is a performer, teacher, recording artist, and was the music director at Golden Gate Center for Spiritual Living, among other places, other spiritual communities. He has a jazz background, and we're so lucky to have him. Thank you, Benny. Welcome. Reverend Bill Engelhardt is our senior minister, and thank you, Bill, for opening us up this morning. At Unity in Marin, we came up with a vision statement. Please join me in saying this together. We are a spiritual community committed to authenticity and in the expression of love and support for each other in living an awakened, enlightened light. In looking at this statement, I can say without a doubt that we are all awake. And also inspiring each other just with how we show up and how you show up every Sunday. It's really a blessing to be here with you today. From this vision statement, the community came up with 3 core commitments, which are to connect, grow, and serve. Please say our connect statement with me. We connect with spirit, inspiring each other, the community, and the world. There are many opportunities to connect at Unity in Marin. There are more details in your bulletin about everything that's going on. Please take that home and refer to it regularly through the week so you don't miss anything. This is the time of year when we have our annual Faith in Action Pledge Drive. Our Faith in Action Fund pays for our day-to-day operations at Unity in Marin, and we have a short video for you.
Hi folks, I'm Sarah LaValle, and it's Faith in Action Pledge time. Today on our tour, we're going to be visiting our flower team, our hospitality team, the bookstore, and these are 3 groups that get funded by other sources, but Faith in Action is there when funding is needed. We're also going to visit our youth and family ministry today. So come on, let's start with flowers. Carolyn, will you tell us a little bit about what you guys all do?
Yes, well, we take turns. We have a calendar, and once a week we have the first Sunday. It happened to be the first Sunday for me, and I go to the flower market and get flowers there because the selection is fabulous. And we all do
Faith in Action, we're really aiming for 250 or a wow of 275. So I'm encouraging you to join in to support that which brings us all so much joy and love and community, and keep these doors open for people that are going to come in the future. And you get this great little pin of our window up there, and I've heard that there might be a party if you have, for those people that have pins, so join me.
Thank you, Pamela. Thank you, Pamela. And as you'll see up behind me, we have 169 pledgers that have pledged $302,000 and $302,673. So now we're going to draw for the Lunch for Bill. I'm the lucky one, so you're in luck because my name's not in there yet. The winner today is Sharon Clark. Congratulations. Now, inside your bulletins, please take this pink piece of paper out of your bulletin. If you have a pin, pull that out as well. Ushers, if you don't have a pin, the ushers will bring forward a pin. This has to do with next Sunday's talk. Next Sunday, Reverend Bill and Reverend Karen are going to be talking about what you want to talk about. So we're encouraging you to fill these out with whatever questions you might have about unity in Marin, spirituality, anything that's on your mind. Put it on this slip of paper and then put it in the love offering basket. If you miss the love offering basket, we can take it, turn it in at the office. But fill these out so we have a talk next week, okay? Thanks. Okay, so today at 12:45, there will be a women's meet and greet. This is a new group that is forming, so if you're interested in being part of it, be sure to check that out today. You are invited. Another way to connect this Thursday, it's Thanksgiving. We have a special Thanksgiving service at 10 o'clock in the morning. Carolyn Gauthier leads that for us, and we all share gratitudes. It's a very special morning, and it's a great way to start your day, your Thanksgiving day. And in the afternoon, we have Thanksgiving dinner, and it's a potluck. And for anyone who's interested in doing that, we ask you to sign up for it. Also, for the service in the morning, if you come, we are asking if you might bring some gourds or some fresh fruit to put on the table to decorate and make the ambience look really special, and it's all of us together doing that. So I'd like to invite Prayer Chaplain Yvette forward with the prayer box. We are a community that is built on prayer. The prayer box comes forth as a reminder, and you can fill out a prayer request and put it in the box, and our team of prayers, our prayer team will continue to pray with you for 30 days, and then we send those prayers to Unity Village, where another team prays for 30 more days. The candle is lit to remind us of the divine light that is in each and every one of us all the time. Even at times when we may not feel it, a lit candle can remind us the essence of our being is love and peace. Thank you, Yvette. One of the many tools that we use here at Unity in Marin is the Daily Word. The Daily Word is a great tool that can help you throughout the day, each and every day. So I invite you to get comfortable, remove anything out of your laps, take a deep breath, eyes open or closed, it doesn't matter. I'll read today's Daily Word, and then we'll go into a few minutes of silent meditation after that. Today's word is in this moment. Each moment is filled with unlimited possibilities. My mind and heart are firmly present in the now, rather than the past hurts or future worries. One way for me to release the past is to honor it for what it has given me. I've been blessed with many opportunities for growth, whether I currently judge them as pleasant or unpleasant. Each one has given me a chance to stretch my wings of my soul and try out new spiritual gifts. With God, I dare to follow my dreams. Divine power makes all things new, bringing about the best and highest for me and for all whom I love. I feel my awareness of God's presence expanding within me, nourishing my soul, and awakening my realization that life is filled with unlimited possibilities. From Psalms 118:24, "This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it." And into the silence.
Sometimes things have to happen for you to really open your eyes. And as you do that, it's almost just like you're seeing for the very first time. That has happened to me in the last couple of weeks. And I am so glad to say that I am back to my regular self, and I feel so wonderful and refreshed and renewed. So, I'm seeing for the very first time. And was that your smile? Or is that sunlight through the trees? Was that a sigh? Or just a gentle breeze? Is that your voice? Rolling waves upon the sea. Is this a dream? Or can it be that I'm seeing for the very first time? The rustling leaves that brings your laughter all around, the dancing wind, feet barely touching down. Is that a song or nature's perfect melody? Is this a dream? Or can it be that I'm seeing for the very first time? Yes, time is on our side, and a seed planted in love will grow. We're each a part of everything and everyone. Now is that my heart? Or was that thunder with this rain? Was that a spark? Or did you touch me once again? I know that my eyes saw you looking back at me. Is this a miracle? Can it be true that it's possible to make one heart a two? Is that a dream? Oh, I do believe that I'm seeing for the very first, seeing for the very first, seeing for the very first time. Oh. Yay.
Thank you, Bobby Finney. Seeing for the very first time. I appreciate you saying that because this last week or so, I woke up with a solid knowing that my job now is to anchor into peace and to do as much as I can in my personal work to let that shine and come forth in the community so that all of us, if we can stay in that place, I think that's really important. But I really got it solidly for the first time. So, and it was a little bit after I was like saying things that, getting angry at people that I like, and so I think I'm there. So, I would like to invite the welcome team forward. And if this is your first time to Unity in Marin, we have a gift for you. Our welcome team has a packet of information and a flower. If you just fill out the form on the outside and take it down to Mary Gale, down the breezeway near the bookstore, she'll give you a CD of today's service when it is ready. All you have to do is raise your hand and keep it up so that the team can find you. And we are happy to have you here with us today. And please join us at the welcome table after the service. Welcome. Online viewers, we want to thank you for tuning in with us again this Sunday today. Our second core commitment is grow. Please say this with me. We grow in consciousness through education, healing, and prayer. At Unity in Marin, we welcome all. We're a 7-day-week community with a wide variety of offerings. We encourage you to check out a program that speaks to you. It might be singing in the choir, Wednesday night services, classes, small groups, loss and grief workshops. We have it all. There is something for everyone. So to me, it's important to spend time with people who are like-minded, and that way we can support each other and lift us through and help us through times that might be challenging. When we build our community and relationships, we find that we're not alone. So 1, check out your bulletin. 2, put it on your calendar. 3, follow through and be here. I put it on my calendar and I forget sometimes. Just saying.
'cause the greatest love of all is happening to me. I found the greatest love of all inside of me. The greatest love of all. It's easy to achieve. Learning to love yourself. It is the greatest love of all. And if by chance that special place that you've been dreaming of lead you to a lonely place, find your strength in love. Amen.
So can you believe Thanksgiving is just a couple of days away? You know what I'm thankful for? Tofurkey. If you're a vegetarian, you know tofurkey. And if you're not, you're just happy for regular turkey. Well, happy Thanksgiving. So when I think about today's talk, what I'm going to be talking about is unconditional giving. So let's think about that idea of giving. How many of you have known someone in your life who's been exceptionally generous to you? Just go ahead and raise your hand. I think all of us have had somebody that's been exceptionally generous, that we remember, someone that we hold in our hearts, someone that we appreciate. Now, I was thinking of this as I came in this morning of who it is that I appreciate for doing something unconditionally good for me. When I was a young man and I was working at a major corporation, and I was in my late 20s, and I was working with a group of other people, and I'd just been at the company about a year or so, and pretty much everybody else, all my peers, were older than me. And there was one man who'd been there at least 5 years, and he was like 45 years old, and I was like 27, 28 years old. And the boss of our department happened to get promoted to a different area, and so it was time to promote somebody in our group, and I got promoted. Now that wasn't the unconditional giving, because, you know, the boss wants something for that, right? I knew I'd work hard, and I was appreciative of it, but where the unconditional giving came in was that 45-year-old man who'd been there for 5 years, who I thought should have gotten the job, how supportive he was of me, wanting me to be successful. He gave without condition. He didn't give because now I was his boss. He gave because he really wanted me to be successful. And I'll never forget that. And his act really moved me in all my relationships with other employees at that company and many other organizations. As I was sharing with Bobby this morning this idea of unconditional giving, he was just telling me it's something that just happened to him, and I want him to come up and share it. So we're going to go to this mic. Tech people, see that? Okay.
So, for those of you that know me, I do a lot of theater. And right now I'm in a Christmas Carol, and we're getting ready to open, and we've been going through our practices, and all of a sudden, I got an email from the executive director of the 6th Street Playhouse, and I thought that that was very strange because he's never emailed me. And he told me that there are 10 people in this area that is well known in theater, when they think about theater, they see our faces, and I was one of 10. And he told me that there is a Broadway actress, a seasoned Broadway actress, that was flying from New York to here to give a workshop. And it was going to be a master class, and then she was going to do a one-woman show that night. This happened yesterday. So I met her. We all were given an opportunity to sing in front of her. And her name was Kathy Fitzgerald. And I sang the song Gimme Gimme from Thoroughly Modern Millie. She critiqued our resumes and showed us the best way to do that. She was absolutely blown away by my song. And she did not have really any critique for me other than saying, you need to move. You don't need to be here. If you want to get to the next level, you need to either be in New York or you need to be in LA. And by the end of the night, last night, she gave me her personal number, and I was the only one that she gave her number to. And she said if there was anything that she could help with me getting to the next level, call me within the next 8 weeks and I would be glad to help you. And she did that willingly and didn't expect anything of me other than just call. So I was so
Now, she didn't want 10%. You know, she didn't want any. She saw the talent that this young man has, and she wanted to say, how can I help you?
Yes.
Unconditionally. That's an example of unconditional giving. Now, I know there's been many times in my life where I've given, but it hasn't been unconditional. Where I've had these kind of thoughts, that I only give to those people who give to me. Or that I think about, how's that gift that I'm giving to that person going to reflect on me? Am I going to be there when they open it? If so, maybe I'm going to spend a little bit more than if I'm sending it in the mail. Or what did she spend on me last year? Having those kind of thoughts. Or it's just an exchange. Well, they'll give me a gift, I'll give them a gift, we want to keep it about the same amount of money. That's an exchange, that's not a gift. So I looked at my own giving and saw all of those weren't really giving without condition. That it was more about how's it going to reflect on me? Charles Fillmore, one of our co-founders, said in the book Prosperity, give in the spirit of love and give when you cannot see any possibility of return. Put real substance into your gift by giving the substance of the heart with the token of money or whatever it is. Now, I look at this idea and have looked at it for many years, that unconditional giving can be the path to spiritual liberation and enlightenment. Now, when I looked at it in my own life, I knew there were some obstacles I needed to overcome. The first obstacle was about just the fear of giving. The fear of giving financially. I had to face that fear. I wanted to face that fear. And when we face our fears, whatever it is, that is the path to spiritual liberation. Because our fears keep us small. When we face our fears and step into those fears and do whatever it is that we need to do to overcome those fears, that's where spiritual liberation lies. Do we really know, and this is the question I ask myself, do I really know God is my source? Because oftentimes in my life when I thought, well, the job that I had was my source, or the career that I had was my source, or the bank account that I had, or the investments in the .com industry, that those were my source. And the truth was, none of those things are our source. That our source is God. All of those other things are just channels. And so what does it mean to me to recognize that God is my source versus assuming that that boss or that job or that partner or whatever, that's my source? Is that when the storms in life come, and they come, and finances may come and they may go, that I knew that I was standing on a solid foundation, that when those times when the storm came and I'd have to change jobs or industries or going through a divorce, etc., that I knew God was my source. And so I might grieve the loss, but know that there was the truth that I was standing on and that it would come back to me if I had the faith to hold on to it. That makes a huge difference from being devastated at a loss versus saying, well, it came and it went and something else good is going to come and take its place. That attitude and that consciousness makes all the difference in the world. It's made a huge difference in my life. The fear that I had to overcome is in giving, thinking that I have less. That if I give, I'll have less. Anybody been here when we do our circulation day? That circulation day is where we have everybody in the congregation, if you have some in your life, you start giving away love right now. And give it away abundantly. You feel like you don't have enough friends? Be a good friend to the friends that you have. Reach out and extend in friendship to people that you may not know so well. Be willing to be vulnerable and show up exactly who you are. When you meet with someone and maybe you've just met them and you say, hi, how are you doing? Here, I'm going to go, okay. How are you doing?
Good.
Good. Now, how are you doing really?
Awesome.
That's good. That can be all it can take. Because there's sometimes you'll talk to somebody, you'll meet them right away, and hi, how are you? How you doing? Yeah, I'm doing all right. Yeah, I'm doing good. And they're not, right? But we just blow it off and continue to go on. But if we just take a moment and just say what I just said here about how are you really, then it's like an awakening in that moment. And people are like, wow, you really see me. This isn't just a pretend conversation. You really want to know. And if you really want to know, then I really want to share. And that's where friendships begin. If we don't feel we have enough money, the same principle applies. To give it away. Now everybody's with me on the first two of those examples, aren't they? Well, number three, everybody's like, wait a minute, what did I sign up for? But it is true. Whatever we want more of, we give away. Now think of all those people that have been generous to you. Remember all those people that someone was generous in my life? If they needed anything, would you be there for them? Would you? Yeah. They were generous. Oh my God, they gave to me. That I would go the extra mile for that person. Why? Because they were generous. So if you want real security in your life, it's not in stocks and bonds. It's in being there for each other. And maybe it was a time where they needed financial help. There's been a couple of times in my life when friends have come to me and said, Bill, can I, get a loan from you for $1,000 or $2,000, whatever? And I say, no. I'm just going to give it to you. You don't have to pay me back. I just want you to have it. And every time I've done that, I've gotten the same response. I don't want to be a debtor. I'm not a lender when it comes to my friends. And I know if I'm willing to give, that it will come back to me tenfold. In Ecclesiastes, it says, cast your bread upon the waters and see it come back to you. I can guarantee you, the more generous that we are, the more secure we will be. And the more the universe will come and pay us back tenfold in ways that we never expected. And that's another key thing when it comes to receiving. Just don't think you're going to receive from the person you gave to. That's an exchange. Think, I just put it into the universe, and then when somebody else shows up and says, oh, I've got a great opportunity for you, or I came into these finances, or here's this piece of land or something that I'd like to give to you, the thing we need to say is, I accept. Not, can't accept because I didn't give anything to you. It's the universe. And I'm always amazed at how the universe shows up. That I'll give over here, and then I'll receive from someone I don't even hardly knew or didn't know, or some situation or circumstance. And to me, that's the power of the universe. And who am I to get in the way of the universe wanting to give back to me? Now, when it comes to prosperity, there's a spiritual custom that's been around for centuries. It's called tithing. And tithing is giving 10% to where you are spiritually fed. Now, when I first heard that, I was like running screaming out the door. Because I was scared. And I want to let you know, when it comes to tithing, we don't demand people tithe here. I want you to give from wherever your heart is. But it is a spiritual practice, and I'll talk more about it and how it's really helped me in my life. And I know I've sat down with people who have said, well, I don't know if I can give 10%. And I said, I guarantee you're giving more than 10% to other places. They're like, what do you mean? I said, MasterCard. What's the interest rate you have to pay back? Oh, like 18%, right? So I'm like, let's consciously give, and I'll talk more about that. But here's what Charles Fillmore said. We are striving to educate the people on this question of giving and receiving, and to let their own experience prove to them that there is a divine law of equilibrium in financial matters that corresponds to the law of balance and poise that holds the sun and the planets in space. It's a principle. I'm going to share with you a story of my Uncle Wally I haven't talked about for many years, but I love this story. My Uncle Wally never had a lot of money. As he told me, he said, Billy, I bought the starter home and stayed in it. So he and his wife, and he raised 2 kids, lived there for 50 years, and he always had different kinds of blue-collar jobs. And one of the jobs that he had was working at the railroad. And I don't mean working in the office. I mean on the railroad, outside, on the tracks, in all kinds of weather. That was the job that he had. And he had earned an award for going so many years without any kind of an accident. And so the reward was, this was many years ago, a pair of work boots. You know, the really nice kind, steel-toed, etc., just the really top-of-the-line boots. And if you've ever worked outside, you know how important taking care of your feet is, right? And so he gets these, and he's all excited about it, and everybody is, just like, wow, he's a great guy, and that's a great present to have, great award. And so he got them, and he noticed there was a young man. The story always chokes me up. He noticed there was a young man, he was just started working there, and he saw the shoes that he had, and they were in no way the kind of shoes that you should be wearing when you're outside doing manual labor. And he thought about that young man, and he looked at his own boots and said, mine are still pretty good. So he gives these boots to this young man. Right? He gives them. So I was touched by his willingness to do that. But as my Aunt Violet was relating the story to me, She said one of his coworkers let her know that that young man took those boots and he sold them. That's exactly what I said. That's exactly what my Aunt Violet said. How could he do that? How indignant. And so my Uncle Wally comes home and Aunt Violet sits him down and says, did you know that young man took those boots and he sold them for money, and how, you should go ahead, talk to him, et cetera, and just the kind of things I'm sure I would have said at the same time. And he said, yeah, he knew. And she said, why aren't you upset? And he said, well, I guess he needed the money more than he needed the boots. Wow. And that example has stayed with me my whole life, because I thought I'd put conditions on his gift about how it should be used. And then I thought, what kind of conditions am I putting on any gift that I give? And I felt like I've come a long way when, it wasn't too many years ago, somebody gave me a gift. And they thought I'd really like this gift. And I looked at it, I'm like, oh yeah, I liked it. What they'd forgotten is I'd given them that gift a couple of years ago. So I was getting a re-gift from my own. And I'm like, what I thought, instead of like, oh, being indignant, I'm like, I'm glad I've got them something really nice. So I'd say, if that's really, when you can give and get it back, and not be upset about it, I'm like, yes, I gave without attachments. And I did that because I remembered my Uncle Wally. And he's the kind of guy that he'd see a house that was run down in the neighborhood, he'd put cash in an envelope and just put it in their mailbox. No name on it or anything else, thinking they must be having a hard time. Now, we talk about demonstration and unity a lot, and demonstration is, so maybe I've had a financial challenge and I work it through and I have money or job or relationship, etc. And it's generally about, receiving something. But Jim Rosemergy, a famous unity author who just retired, said this: what if demonstration is not something that comes through receiving, but through giving? What if we demonstrate prosperity when we give? Or we demonstrate love when we act selflessly? Let's begin to change our minds and consider that giving or expression just might be the key to demonstration rather than what we acquire. Now, I know my journey along unconditional giving was that I often had a challenge for many decades about giving. In fact, when I was first married, my wife at the time said that our bank account was like the black hole. And I said, what do you mean? She goes, it's like, how light goes into a black hole and never comes out? Money goes into the black hole of your bank account and never comes out, right? And I thought, yeah, isn't that the way it's supposed to be? Like, oh no, it's not. I was like Scrooge McDuck, sitting and not wanting to give because of the fear that I would have less. And that whole idea of tithing, like I said, would scare me to death and make me want to run screaming. And then I read more and more about how many successful people, like William Colgate, as he went off to earn his fortune, he was told by his mom, don't forget to tithe. So he started at 10%, and he increased it to 50% over the years. And he said, I cannot outgive God. Now, to me personally, that idea of tithing took a while to catch on, and I'd start at 1% and 3% and 5% and 8%, 9%, 10%, and having it come out of my bank account before I even, out of my paycheck before I did anything. And you know what? I didn't miss it. And I never went hungry. And I prospered and prospered and prospered. And I did that because I was letting go of the fear that money had a dominion over me before. That it was my self-worth was tied up with what the stock market was doing. Or my self-worth was tied up with how much money I could sit on. Now, as I was giving, in one hand, freely giving, that it was coming to me through so many other avenues. And I believe that happened not out of some magical thing. There's nothing magical about 10%. It was that I no longer let money have dominion over me and my consciousness, that now I have dominion over it. And I no longer tithe, by the way, because tithe means 10%. I give more than 10%. And I find, like William Colgate, that you cannot outgive God. If you are willing to be open to give and know that God is the source, then when things show up that are unexpected, I receive them. And I don't go hungry. And God is good, and I prosper and continue to prosper. And I believe it's because I put God first, because I know God is my source. So I put my money where my consciousness wanted to be. I put my money where my consciousness wanted to be. So when I moved to 10% or higher, it was because I'm like, okay, I'm going to put it out there because I want to be able to live in that consciousness of generosity. I want to be that person that we all raised our hands and said, yeah, we know somebody that's generous. I want that to be part of my legacy, is to be that person that wasn't afraid to give and that was generous, because those are the people that I hold dearest to my heart, are those people that I've seen be so generous and that I've personally experienced. I was holding myself in bondage to fear, lack, and limitation. But each and every one of us has the key to our own spiritual liberation and enlightenment. For me, a big part of my growth was letting go of that fear. Now, for you, it may be another fear to let go of. But when we face our fears and when we walk through them, that is liberation. And that's the liberation that lasts. We're in the flow of prosperity. I really feel like I am living a life of liberation that's much more prosperous on every level since I decided to give without condition. How do we know if giving is unconditional? I'm going to quote myself. How do you know if your giving is unconditional? When you realize that giving and receiving are contained in one action. Two ends of the same process. So it's not like, well, I'm giving $10 here and I'm waiting to see if I'm going to get anything back. Where's the universe going to do it? I'm like, when I give, right in that moment, if I'm giving unconditionally, I've received. Because it feels good to give. Let's say that together. It feels good to give. It does. So right in that moment, I'm like, yes, it felt good. And, the universe shows up with $10 or $100 or whatever, that's great. But giving and receiving are in the same action. And when we realize that, made all the difference in the world to me about being willing to give. I'm going to say our denial first, and then I'll ask us to say it together. I am not ruled by thoughts of lack and limitation. Together? I am not ruled by thoughts of lack and limitation. And the affirmation, I'll say it first. When I give with no condition, I receive with no limitation. Together? When I give with no condition, I receive with no limitation. And now we have the opportunity to come together and to be able to give, and I ask us to give from our hearts and to give with joy. And let us do this right now. Thank you.
Just as we give, so we receive. Richly we live in one golden weave. There is nothing we can lack. We give from love, and love gives it back. Just as we give, so we receive. Richly we live in one golden weave. There is nothing we can lack. We give from love, and love gives it back. Just as we give, so we receive. Richly we live in one golden weave. There is nothing we can lack. We give from love, and love gives it back. Yes. Well, I don't know about you, but I feel full. So great to know the art of giving generously. I love it. I thought about this song. I didn't know why, but it wouldn't leave me alone. So I really felt Spirit wanted me to share this song with you. I'm on the edge of glory, and I'm hanging on a moment of truth. I'm on the edge of glory, and I'm hanging on a moment with you. I'm on the edge of glory, and I'm hanging on a moment with you. I'm on the edge of glory, and I'm hanging on a moment with you. I'm on the edge, the edge, the edge, the edge, the edge, the edge, the edge. I'm on the edge of glory, and I'm hanging on a moment with you. I'm on the edge with you. Yes. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Hey, I'm on the edge of glory, and I'm hanging on a moment with you. I'm on the edge of glory, and I'm hanging on a moment with you. I'm on the edge, the edge, the edge, the edge, the edge, the edge, the edge. I'm on the edge of glory, and I'm hanging on a moment with you. Say, I'm on the edge with you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna do that one more time. Here we go. See, I'm on the edge of glory, and I'm hanging on a moment with you. I'm on the edge of glory, and I'm hanging on a moment of truth. I'm on the edge, the edge, the edge, the edge, the edge, the edge, the edge. I'm on the edge of glory, and I'm hanging on a moment with you. I'm on the edge with you. Yay!
Thank you, Bobby. Bobby and Benny. Bobby and Benny. I like that. So please raise your hands and join me in our blessing of our love offering. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. Thank you, Reverend Bill, for reminding me that giving and receiving are the same. And indeed, that ties into our third core commitment, which is to serve. Please say that with me. We serve spirit, community, and the world with love, joy, and a sense of adventure. Absolutely. If you ordered a pie from our Youth of Unity, YOU, their fundraiser, be sure to pick them up today in the courtyard. There's a tent out there. You may notice the teens aren't here this weekend. They are at Rally. So your support for those pies and the car washes and bake sales are being put to good use this weekend for a lot of kids. So thank you for your support in that. This Wednesday, volunteer decorators are needed to help set up for our Thanksgiving Day service on Thursday. There will be no Wednesday night service this week because of this preparation. Christmas decorating help is needed. Please see Charcel to be part of that team. And thank you to today's hospitality sponsors, Chris Slate and Rick Panizzo. Today's flower sponsor is Sue Silkworth. You too can sponsor the beautiful flowers like these or the snacks, and you can see Charcel about that. Will the Unity and Marin prayer chaplains please stand up? Prayer chaplains are available to support you with prayer before or after the service. If you have a concern or a joy, they are here to pray with you. Our prayer chaplains make phone calls. They send us inspirational cards every month. And if you don't know who your prayer chaplain is, there's a photo album in the narthex. You can check it out and then go see your prayer chaplain and say hi. Because we just see names sometimes. Let's put a face to it by looking at that photo album. So thank you for the gift of your sacred service, prayer chaplains. And now, if you'll all stand up and take the hand of the person next to you, we will sing the peace song.
Amen. We are prosperous.
And I'm hanging on a moment of truth. I'm on the edge of glory. And then hanging on a moment with you. I'm on the edge, the edge, the edge, the edge, the edge, the edge, the edge. I'm on the edge of glory. And I'm hanging on a moment with you. I'm on the edge with you. Thank you. Yay! I'm on the edge of glory, and I'm hanging on a moment of you. I'm on the edge of glory, and I'm hanging on a moment with you. I'm on the edge, the edge, the edge, the edge, the edge, the edge, the edge. I'm on the edge of glory, and I'm hanging on a moment with you. I'm on the edge with you. Oh, you know you just blew me away, right? That's wonderful. Well, you know what? I hope that
With my boys, I'm so excited.
Oh,
First time in a
wonderful.
zillion years.
Oh my
Like over 20
goodness.
years that I've been with you and the boys are
Oh,
Thanksgiving.
that's so wonderful. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
so happy. Yay.
Hey, to be with your mommy and
Yes.
others.
No.
Taking a break.
And the first of January, if you want to, that is how. Sophie? And Larry, been awesome. Yes, I am. Thank you. Good to meet you. Good to see you. Yeah.
Your arrival proceeding.
Good job. Thank you, thank you. Well, Bobby makes it.
Oh, yeah.
That helps a lot.
That's good.
I live in Oakland. It's quite bizarre. This was my trial run to go to the city. It takes 30 minutes. And 80 miles. They used to put up my picture in the post office. Hey. Anyway, I gotta put things in order here, Laura.
I think it was awesome. Forgive me for edging over. That was my fault. I came in too early, so I was kind of off.
Oh.
That was my fault.
Oh,
But it
Lord,
was
I didn't
the
notice.
first time, but it was
Okay.
because of me. But you were, Benny, you are a perfect fit.
He gets more hugs than I do. Yes. My pleasure. My pleasure. Okay. Yeah, I gotta put things in order. Good, good. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I didn't get uptight, and that's a good sign.
I'm so glad.
Yes. Okay. See. What a song that sing for the very first time. I love that song.
And I'm forever grateful to you because I've wanted to sing that song for years.
Uh-oh, you're in trouble now.
folks. I'm Sarah LaValle, and it's Faith in Action Pledge time. Today on our tour, we're going to be visiting our flower team, our hospitality team, the bookstore, and these are 3 groups that get funded by other... Hi folks, I'm Sarah LaValle, and it's Faith in Action Pledge time. Today on our tour, we're going to be visiting our flower team, our hospitality team, the bookstore, and these are 3 groups that get funded by other sources, but Faith in Action is there when funding is needed. We're also going to visit our youth and family ministry today. So come on, let's start with flowers. Carolyn, will you tell us a little bit about what Hi folks, I'm Sarah LaValle, and it's Faith in Action Pledge time. Today on our tour, we're going to be visiting our flower team, our hospitality team, the bookstore, and these are 3 groups that get funded by other sources, but Faith in Action is there when funding is needed. We're also going to visit our youth and family ministry today. So come on, let's start with flowers. Carolyn, will you tell us a little bit about what you guys all do?
Yes, well, we take turns. We have a calendar, and once a week we have the first Sunday. It happened to be the first Sunday for me, and I go to the flower market and get flowers there because the selection is fabulous. And we all do various arrangements. We recognize each other's styles, and it's a lot of fun for us. It's a great joy to bring beauty to the sanctuary.
Well, we deeply